Their eyes were almost immediately drawn to
Not
it.
another one.
Yeah, looks like it.
I haven't even found the code of that other safe. Oh.
Do you think we have to put in the right password or it won't open?
No, probably not. I think you can put in any number and it'll open.
I think so.
Hit the coffin as many times as there is for this password, if you know what the code is. The noise wasn't stopping. In fact, it was getting louder.
Whoever or whatever's inside this thing wants out. And now.
I know that. But how?
Without a passcode, I don't think there's much we can do.
They couldn't even tell how many numbers the passcode needed to be.
Isn't there a hint somewhere?
Well, let's look for one.
Probably not. Count however many candles are in this room. Unfortunately, there didn't seem to be anything near the coffin. Clover ran to examining the pews, and Seven investigated the desk, but they turned up nothing.
Ugh, there's nothing here.
Not making this easy, are they?
The sound still wouldn't stop. It wasn't a noise that belonged to that room.
What's the passcode?
No idea.
What am I supposed to do? How can we figure it out? I need something.
Weird. Oh my god. That is such a fucking tease. Oh my god. Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. Actually, at the same time. Whoa, what the fuck? Are you just gonna give up like that? What's going on? Now it is time. Let our game begin. Would you like to save? Yeah, sure. The coffin ending. Oh, god damn it. Does that allow me to go all the way back up here? Because I need to go through all these red ones. And then I can go through the... fuck, that one. God damn it.
Let's say you write a program that calculates an addition problem for you, all right?
Okay, there you go. New stuff.
So you enter 1 + 1. The screen will show you 2. See? Isn't that strange?
No? Not really.
Oh, come on now. Of course a caveman like you would think it was strange. You said so just a minute ago. You're just not getting it, are you? Who calculated 1 + 1?
Yeah, it had to be a computer.
The main computer, right? You said it connected to the monitor wirelessly.
Yeah, but someone who grew up in a cave wouldn't know that, right?
Oh my god, you're such a bitch.
They'd probably think that this thing here, the monitor, is doing the calculating. And once they've decided that, they'll start examining this monitor. They might poke the screen or something. Ah, I see the color changes when I press it here. Then they might investigate the hardware on the inside. Oh, I see. So this wire supplies the power. Eventually, they might even cut the wires. Ah, yes. Just as I expected. When this wire is cut, no results appear.
But at that point, it's dead.
Therefore, it must be this device which does the calculations.
Oh.
But the truth is that, just like you said, the computer is doing the calculating. But these cave people wouldn't know that, because they have no idea that the monitor and the computer are connected wirelessly.
Let us continue to type. Junpei scratched his head.
So, what are you trying to say?
Nothing, really. It's just, I thought maybe, what if the relationship between human beings and our brains is like that?
Huh?
Well, let's say you stick a bunch of electrodes into parts of the brain. A scientist examining the signals they send out might say, interesting. So stimulating this part of the brain causes the person to see colors. That must mean this neuron cluster controls that function. Okay, let's see what happens when I cut out this part. Ah, just what I thought. Cutting off this part causes that function to cease. Therefore, human thought processes must occur in the human brain. See? Doesn't it sound the same?
A bit, but I think our brain is like literally the main computer, though. So it is like going into a computer and saying, you know, cutting off certain parts and saying, this is where it's happening.
Maybe the brain is just an output device, like this monitor.
I wouldn't say that. Personally, I disagree.
Maybe our thought processes actually occur somewhere else, in a main body.
Are you gonna try to pull out Matrix bullshit?
We just don't know it. We never even think about it. Just like those cave people wouldn't know about wireless communications.
That's fair.
We can't imagine that there's some unknown medium that transfers information into our brains, where we experience that information as thoughts.
It is an interesting way to look at it, though. Junpei didn't say anything. Not so much because he had no retort. No, her argument just seemed silly, and he was a little surprised to be hearing something like it from someone like her.
The brain is just an output device. Human thought actually occurs somewhere else?
Yeah, it's a little,
That's just crazy talk.
yeah. I wouldn't dismiss his crazy talk, I'd just say, yeah, there's just no proof of it. Did Lotus really think that? He wondered. It was a little creepy, Junpei thought. It sounded all together too much like a bizarre cultish religion.
Maybe that's the cause of Seven's amnesia.
That's fair. Oblivious to Junpei's increasing discomfort, Lotus continued.
If memory is actually stored somewhere else, in some sort of main body somewhere, maybe he hasn't forgotten anything at all.
It just got severed.
He's just having a difficult time accessing his memories because the monitor, his brain, has been damaged.
I thought she was gonna say that there's no free Wi-Fi in the area.
Huh.
I suppose that would explain aphasia and blind sight, too. Perhaps they actually can speak or see. The monitor just isn't functioning properly.
It's still like a really strange view on it.
I guess people with prosopagnosia could be suffering from the same thing.
Wait a minute. What?
I have no idea what that is. He knew what aphasia was from watching medical dramas on TV, and blindsight was easy enough to guess, but he'd never heard of prosophagia. Phaginosia? Yeah, I butchered the fuck out of that because fuck medical terms because, you know, they're always easy to pronounce.
What? You've never heard of prosopagnosia?
Prosopagnosia. Fuck off. What? No! Lotus spun around in her chair to look at him. Hell no. Junpei just shrugged and shook his head.
What is it?
How the hell would I know?
Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces.
Is that a real fucking thing?
In other words, my face would look the same as Clover's or even yours.
Is that really a thing?
So they can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other.
There's no way that's an actual thing. Because that's weird. That would be wild as shit. God, I would hate to have it. That's like... If that thing's real, that's really debilitating when you think about it. Like, any kind of, like, business deal, you're fucked. There's no way. Oh, that would be brutal.
That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people they're close to.
God, that would be horrible. There's no way.
Usually they can make do by associating people with other things. Their voices, their clothes, their hair.
Wow.
Does that mean other people's faces look like blanks?
I wouldn't say blanks, probably just like something that's like standard, maybe? Is how it would look?
No, I don't think so. Well, you've seen monkeys, like in a zoo, right?
They all just look the same.
To you and me, all the monkey faces look the same. Even though they've obviously got faces, it's almost impossible for a human to distinguish between them. The zoo staff that works with them would learn to identify different monkeys eventually, but you or I couldn't unless one had a scar or something else to set it apart.
Damn.
Well, that's how people would be to someone with prosopagnosia.
God.
Prosopagnosia. Huh. I didn't even know that kind of thing existed.
That sounds horrible. Oh my god. If someone has that, I'm truly curious about that actually. I am genuinely curious about that. If it's like that bad, I want to know about that. Junpei did his best to act as though the entire lecture hadn't gone entirely over his head.
And, what were we talking about?
The idea that your brain is just an output device, like a monitor.
Are you serious about that stuff?
Not really.
Yeah.
I was just kidding for about half of it.
About half of it.
What about the other half?
Well, I'd imagine all the talk of the diseases and stuff was real.
Well, I guess I was just adulting.
Adulting?
Hmm.
What do you mean adulting?
Not funny.
Lotus's smile had something rather masochistic
It's
to it.
nothing more than a story I made up out of boredom. Don't take it seriously.
Fine.
It was the first thing that came to mind, and I just talked about it to kill time. But looks like I don't need to talk anymore.
Why?
Finished?
And I don't have to kill time any longer.
As she spoke, Lotus raised her right arm high and brought it down on the inner key.
Oh, then you finished that brute whatever thing?
Brute force.
I certainly did. And let's see what we got.
Chunks of text flickered on and off in quick succession, and a line of numbers appeared, blinked, and disappeared. The screen cleared, and all that was left was the word accepted. Hell yeah.
Piece of cake.
I'd give her a high five. Lotus would clearly have patted herself on the back if it would not have made her look entirely ridiculous. Then I'll pat you on the back. After a few seconds, the accepted disappeared to be replaced with blocks. 9 squares arranged by
The
3
screen
squares.
changed again. What the hell is that?
No idea. Looks like a puzzle.
Have fun. Suddenly Lotus stood up and left me to it.
Aren't you gonna, I don't know, do more computer stuff?
Do your fancy computer magic.
No, I can't do any more. It won't let me do any more programming. See? The keyboard. Nothing. So, there's nothing more I can do.
God, that is one old mouse. Fuck me. That is a really old one.
Well, I guess I'll leave this to you then, Junpei.
Well, not like the oldest, but it's got some years on it.
What?
Let me take a break, all right? I did my part.
Well,
He wasn't sure what to say to that. She certainly had done her part. In fact, without Lotus, they probably would have run completely aground. I shouldn't rely on other people so much, Junpei thought to
I
himself.
guess you're right. Thanks, Lotus.
No problem. And make sure you know when you should thank people.
That's still a weird thing
Now,
to say.
I better take care of this myself. No more relying on anyone else.
Junpei crossed his arms and stared at the puzzle shown on the screen. To the locker. It was just that moment, then he heard a voice behind him. It was Clover.
Hey, Junpei, do you have a minute?
Yeah. Are you actually going to say something this time instead of, oh, never mind? Because that fucking pissed me off. He put the puzzle aside for a moment and walked over to Clover.
What's up?
I wanted to ask you something.
Hmm?
Junpei, you went into door 5 with my brother, right?
Yeah, he was pretty chill.
Did you hear him say, like, anything weird?
Oh God, I don't remember. That was so long ago. That was like the first door I went into.
Huh?
And I've gone through like 20 doors at this point. Why is she asking me this, Junpei wondered. The more he thought about it, however, the more it made sense. Snake had been gone for a long time. Clover was quite attached to her brother. Of course, she would have been worried about him.
Well, let me think.
He thought back to when he'd gone through door 5, hoping he might remember something, even a small thing that would help her. However,
Sorry, Clover. I can't really think of anything. I mean, he did mention that his hearing exceeds that of a regular person, or something like that, but that's about it.
Okay.
Clover's words were barely audible. She nodded vaguely to Junpei and turned to walk away.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hmm?
Look, I don't know if I should ask you things, but if you don't mind, I was hoping you could tell me if, is Snake, was he born?
Was he born blind, or did he develop this over time?
You're talking about his eyes?
Oh, you just fucking spit it out, Junpei.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't born blind.
Well, that fucking sucks.
When he was a kid, he got in an accident.
Oh, damn.
A really bad car accident.
That's brutal.
He couldn't see after that.
That's horrible. Because there's one thing if you're like just always blind. I mean, it's not that it's good, but I would just imagine that'd be just slightly better because you don't get to see like what like you don't get to see in the first place. Like I couldn't imagine like having a sense and then having it like removed from you. Like after like already developing it and using it like a lot, kind of like hearing or vision. It would be just one of those things like I wouldn't want that taken away from me. If I would rather be born without it to begin with than with it and then lose it. I just think that would be much worse.
And his arm.
Oh, fuck.
His arm?
Yeah. My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm.
So it's a prosthetic.
It's fake. It's not a real
So
arm.
that one, okay. That explains why she was saying, oh, was there a bone in his arm that was sticking out? So yeah, it's not him. It's a fake body. Well, it's not a fake body. I'd imagine it was so. Is it though? It's not Snake. I'll just say that. I don't know if it's a fake body or not. It's not Snake.
The accident hurt him really bad. To save him, they had to cut off his arm.
I mean, he went blind. Of course, it's a bad accident. Ugh.
Oh.
It's awkward. Thanks for sharing.
Is that all you wanted to ask me?
Yeah, that's good. Talking about her brother had clearly taken a great deal out of Clover. Junpei nodded.
Look, I'm sorry for making you talk about all that painful stuff.
It's not that.
Clover only shook her head and walked off down the stairs. Damn. That's sad. But that means I can move forward. The engine room.
I believe the box has reached the floor.
Yeah.
He stuck his head over the side of the catwalk and looked down. The box had only recently hung just below the catwalk, now sat on the floor. It had come to rest near the end of the tunnel that covered
June's
the
down
conveyor
over
belt.
by there.
Junpei could see her, still leaning against the wall as if she had barely had the strength to sit up. Even from so far away, it was not difficult to see that she had not improved. He almost thought he could see her heat rising from her body.
She doesn't seem to be improving.
Ace's expression was inscrutable, but he'd said that, well, what they'd all been thinking.
Well, of course not. She's not gonna just get better right away, you know? It'll take time.
Exactly. He tried desperately to convince himself to what he'd said was true.
What could be causing this, I wonder? Illness, perhaps?
Nah, it's gotta be exhaustion.
Sena's response was confident.
She gets
and
dropped
certain.
into some weird-ass ship, forced to...
Yeah, we saw that. Sena snorted in
guinea
disgust.
pig? You mean like a lab rat? You mean we're being used for some sort of experiment? Is that what you're saying?
Dunno. But it does seem like a possibility, you know?
They stood there for a few more minutes. No one was speaking until Sena turned and walked away from the winch. Junpei and Ace followed him.
You know, speaking of
Experiment. Sena suddenly stopped.
there was this experiment some scientists did with rats. First, they took a squarish C-shaped tank and filled it with enough water that the rats could drown in it.
Fuck.
The tank has 2 exits. Just to make it easy, we'll call one A and the other B. Exit A is pitch black, so dark even a rat can't see anything.
Shit.
But exit B is electrified, which means the rat can't leave through it.
So you have to go through the darkness.
So, what would a rat do if it was put in this situation?
I would go through the darkness. The rat probably goes through the electrified thing.
Which exit would the rat choose?
Actually, no. I guarantee that the thing is that they didn't choose any and they just drowned. There was a moment of silence after Sena posed the question, then Ace responded.
B, of course. The rat has no way of knowing that exit B is electrified.
Exactly. The rat goes to exit B.
But once I get shocked, it'll turn around.
Of course, like I said, it's electrified. Which means the rat can't get out that way. So, after a lot of trial and error, the rat finally finds exit A.
I can't say that's very interesting or relevant. It's simply the story of a laboratory experiment.
That's fucked up, though.
You're right. It isn't very interesting. Yet.
Let me guess, they did the experiment again, and then the rat immediately went to A.
See, these scientists repeated this experiment over and over, using hundreds of different rats over several generations. This produced some surprising results. With each generation, the rats took less time to find the correct exit.
Fuck.
Eventually, a rat was put in the tank who instantly chose exit A without even attempting to go to exit B. But that wasn't the most impressive part.
That's pretty impressive.
The same experiment was conducted in another laboratory, far from the original one, with the same results. No, on second thought, the results weren't really the same. The rats in this second experiment began the trials with significantly faster times than the first rats in the initial one. These rats weren't related to the others and had never even come in contact with them. And yet, they all easily found their way to Exit A as though they already knew.
I don't know if that's true.
What did it mean?
Are you suggesting something like telepathy? They were passing information to one another through some undetectable medium?
Ace looked skeptical. Santa snorted at him.
How the hell would I know? I'm not any kind of scientist. I don't know what made him do that. But I do know that story's true. And if you've got another explanation, I'd sure love to
Here, I don't know.
Come on, let's get going.
I don't know if it's
There's
real.
still a lot here we haven't checked out. And we gotta get the hell out of here before June passes out.
That's a nice idea. Without waiting for a response, he turned around and started walking. Junpei, however, wasn't quite ready to leave the topic alone.
Hey, wait. There's something I want to ask you.
What?
Santa stopped and turned around.
Why did they use that tank for the experiment?
Huh?
Well, I mean, it seems like you could conduct the same experiment without the water. They could have just used a dry box, you know?
Because they wouldn't leave.
If they needed to motivate the rats to escape, they could have, I don't know,
Added cheese.
put some bait by exit B or something. I mean, do they really have to make it so the rats can drown?
Santa gave a grim bark of a laugh.
You know, the word emergency comes from the same root as the word emerge.
Yeah.
You ever think about that? Huh? Well, an emergency is something urgent, often something dangerous. And to emerge means to sort of come out, or appear, or rise out of something else.
Rise above.
So what's going to emerge in an emergency? Inspiration.
Inspiration?
Yeah. Think about it. When the chips are down, either you crack or your mind focuses and pulls up what you need.
So far, I've been really lucky, and whenever I need it, chips are down, my mind focuses into fucking razor sharp when I need it.
So in an emergency, your real potential emerges. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That's why the rats had to drown. They had to be in danger. There had to be an emergency for inspiration to emerge.
Oh.
Junpei suddenly felt cold. The back of his head was aching, and his stomach felt strange. Strange. Next one. The 9 photos. Because this is where
Now we
The
finally have
Ace
all
has
9
that
picture
thing.
cards.
Ace has that disease then. Because why else would he be like, oh yeah, this shouldn't be too hard. You got this, right? And it's like, yeah, dude, of fucking course I do. This is designed especially, it hurts Ace completely. Because he wouldn't be able to recognize anything.
We just need to insert these cards into the slots at the front of each box.
Junpei stared at the cards in his hands. He peered
You
at
know
them.
which card goes in which box, yes?
Because he wouldn't ask that if he knew what they look like. Junpei gave him a look.
Yeah, of course I do. It's really obvious. You just match our numbers to the numbers, then you pop the corresponding card in the right box. So for instance, the card with the picture of Ace on it goes into box 1. The card with the picture of Snake on it goes into box 2, and so on.
and so on and so on.
Oh, I see.
Huh? What is it?
Junpei thought he might have imagined it, but he could have sworn Ace stiffened. Just then, Junpei heard a noise. He spun around just in time to see June collapse in front of the fence.
Hey!
Oh, fuck, this is completely different.
June, are you okay?
She did not respond. Junpei spun back around to face Ace. Here, Ace, you do it for me. And he's gonna be like, oh, fuck. I'm gonna take care of June.
I'm sorry, I gotta go check on her. You finish the box thing, alright?
He's fucked.
Just put the cards in the boxes. I'm counting on you.
He shoved the cards into Ace's hands and ran off toward June.
Are you alright? What happened?
Did you touch the fucking fence? Junpei called out to her as he ran.
Can you stand?
Santa, get off of her! As he arrived, June was climbing up to her feet with Santa's help.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm fine.
Clearly.
I just tripped.
on.
Don't give me that. Now is not the time.
But it's true. I tripped over a box.
I swear to God, June.
Just let me see for a sec.
Junpei put his palm to her forehead.
Huh.
You're still warm.
Her temperature was much the same as it had been the last time he checked. She wasn't hot like she had been before, but she was still warm. Her fever wasn't completely gone.
I saw her fall. I think she really did just trip on something, you know?
Yeah, I don't care. Junpei would have been more willing to agree if June hadn't needed quite so much help standing up.
Still, to fall down like that? I think she's probably still a little messed up.
How about you just take a break, June? June was doing her best to busy herself brushing dust off her dress. Her smile looked a little embarrassed and her face was a little bit flushed. But she did look a great deal better than she had. Still.
All right, well, let's just get out of here as fast as we can so we can get you to a hospital.
Oh, I don't think it's anything that serious.
Calm down, June.
I just need a little medicine and some sleep, and I'll be fine.
There is a bed here.
Medicine. Medicine, huh?
Oh, there also is a hospital.
Well, if we could get in touch with anyone outside, I'll bet Ace could swing that for you easy.
Ace? Why?
Yeah, I was about to say, why?
Huh? Don't you know? He's the president of a pharmaceutical company.
What?
Cradle Pharmaceuticals is the name, I think.
Oh, fuck me. Oh. Fuck.
Their flagship product is an anesthetic drug called Soparil.
Oh my god. No. No, no, no. No, 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 no. I want out of here. Give me that goddamn gun. I'm shooting Ace in the goddamn head. Fuck. Fuck.
Soparil. Soparil.
Yeah, it's what he used to put himself to sleep, but that's not what is important here. I'm just remembering what because Seven was talking about, because this didn't happen in this one. Damn it, he doesn't have the information of it, but Seven saying that, yeah, Cradle Pharmaceuticals had something to do with it. They're not doing it without the president's, go-ahead. Fuck me. And that would explain, like, whenever Clover tried to talk about what was going on in the past, he decided just happened to walk in. He's fucking a snake. Well, not snake, but he's a fucking rat. Kill him.
I've heard of that before somewhere.
And he's probably 0. At that rate, then. Junpei couldn't shake the feeling that he'd heard about Soparil before. Sana continued.
It's an anesthetic that's a gas at room temperature. A lot like how nitrous oxide is.
Yep.
It takes only a few seconds to spread, and even a small amount is very effective. A bunch of countries quickly accepted it for widespread use within their police and military forces. It was an effective crowd suppressant and room clearer. It was practical, ethical, and the humane nature of it made it the ideal drug.
It's cool.
It's been around for about 6 years. They developed it from the extracts of several different roots. It became popular almost as soon as it was made public, with many governments placing large orders.
Sana knows it has a connection with Ace then. Because he talked about how he made a lot of money through the stocks with Cradle Pharmaceuticals. That means he probably had a connection with Ace and knew that they were going to boom, and that's how he made money off of it.
Demand for Soparil skyrocketed, and of course that meant Cradle Pharmaceuticals stock did too.
Which is how you made your money.
Why do you know all of this?
Sana's information was interesting, but Junpei couldn't help but feel a little suspicious. Sana's reply was blunt and simple.
I heard it from the old man himself.
From Ace? When?
By the number 4 door at the central stairway, when we were searching the second class room. Remember how Snake, 7, and you went to door 5? It was back then. I asked him what he did for a living, and he said he ran his own... After that, we just started talking, and I guess it just came up, you know?
That's suspicious. I think Ace and Sana are working together.
Huh.
So that way, they're... Well, I don't want to say always have an eye on him. I wouldn't say that, but they have... I think they're working together.
Are you worried about something?
No, nothing.
As he spoke, Junpei looked over toward Ace. He seemed to be having difficulty with the
hell is he
night
doing?
boxes. He turned back to June and Sana.
June, don't push yourself, all right?
Yes.
Santa, could you take care of her? I'll go check on Ace. Looks like he's having trouble.
Sure.
Ace, what the fuck? He gave them both a short nod and then turned and headed toward Ace.
What are you doing?
Fucking do it! Ace's back was at him as Junpei approached. The older man turned around to look at him. His face was pale and covered in sweat.
What happened?
Nothing. My vision has gotten rather blurry, I think, because of fatigue. I can't see very well at the moment.
God damn it.
What can't you see well?
The faces.
These pictures.
Ace held the card out to Junpei, splayed out in the shape of a fan.
I don't care to admit it, but I may be developing presbyopia.
No, I think he has the other disease.
Growing old is a difficult thing.
Because there's also another thing that he had. I don't remember. It was. Fuck. It was a weird thing that he said. It was like really weird in how he phrased it. And I don't remember which it was. Ah, damn it. Or who he was even talking about. Damn it.
At any
I
rate,
didn't actually get that
I'll leave the
far.
rest to you.
He made the best attempt that he could at a self-deprecating smile, but his face was flushed and his lips were pale and drawn.
I'm feeling awfully tired, so if you don't mind, I'd like to rest for a bit.
He shoved the cards into Junpei's hands and walked quickly away. Junpei looked at him quizzically.
How could simply looking at cards have tired him out?
Junpei looked down at the cards in his hands. All of the pictures were quite clear and each person easily recognizable. Was Ace's vision truly so bad?
But if it wasn't, what had made him so uncomfortable?
That was when Junpei remembered what he'd heard from Lotus much earlier.
Prosopagnosia. Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. In other words, my face would look the same as Clover's or even yours.
Which would make them, quote, blurry.
So they can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other. That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people they're close to.
Maybe he's got prosopagnosia?
Oh yeah, it was in that hallway when he was talking, when we ran up to him and talked to him. It was when he sounded kind of weird. Junpei took another look at Ace. He sat at the base of the stairs looking quite depressed.
Well, he looks depressed enough to have it.
If he really did have prosopagnosia, there was no doubt it was a depressing and painful experience. Still, Junpei didn't feel like patting him on the shoulder and telling him everything would be alright would help that much. Still, Junpei felt perhaps it was best that he kept Ace's condition to himself, at least for the time being.
Oh well.
Doing his best to clear his mind for the task at hand, he turned back toward the boxes.
Time to solve the 9 boxes puzzle.
9 cards and pictures, and 9 boxes. Junpei stared at them for a moment and began.
Ace's card is in box 1, Snake's is...
Yeah.
Nine?
9 pens. Already got that.